Yo, what's going on, boys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got some breaking news. We got some Zach Wilson drama and some New York Jets trading him situation. So, it just has come out that Zach Wilson has been traded to the Denver Broncos after a terrible, terrible start of his career in the New York Jets. They finally decided to give up on him. The way we're going to break this story down today is we're going to go all the way back to back when Zach Wilson was in college. We're going to go right back to the draft so you guys understand what's going on and how we got here. So, first off, when Zach Wilson, he was going through the COVID year, you know, the year everybody got the cough. Anywho, so that draft year was very, very, very different than most draft years because no GM, no NFL executives really knew what exactly was going on with any of the football players. And the combine and the whole draft process was thrown off that year. That was the year that we saw Trey Lance get drafted to the 49ers. We saw how that happened. But when Zach Wilson was coming out of college, everybody was like, wow, look at this kid throw the ball. He's got an arm on him. So no one knew exactly what was going to happen, but there was a lot of people loving the way he could just sling the rock. Just in general. People were saying he could be the next Patrick Mahomes the way he's throwing it. Even, honestly, they're even saying the next Aaron Rodgers. But fast forward, he gets drafted by the New York Jets, second overall. He goes right behind Trevor Lawrence. This is big because a lot of people, some of the NFL executives, was saying that he could go ahead of Trevor Lawrence, if you guys remember. We all saw how that turned out. Everybody was saying Trevor Lawrence was the generational talent. But so far, Trevor Lawrence hasn't quite panned out to what everybody thought he'd be. So getting back to today, Zach Wilson is now being traded. The reason why this is a big deal, and the reason why the Denver Broncos decided to do it, was for the reasons of they did not have to give up that much trade capital in order to acquire Zach Wilson. And as you guys know, Sean Payton is still the head coach of the Denver Broncos, and he is very well known for his offensive prowess. But he thinks that he might be able to get something more out of Zach Wilson than the Jets possibly could. The Jets also moved on. They've got Tyrod Taylor as their backup quarterback. They're not going to be stressed. They still have Aaron Rodgers, and they're preparing for the draft right now. So they're not sweating losing Zach Wilson at all because, quite frankly, last year was the tipping point for the Jets to say, all right, we're done with him so far. And because last year was the tipping point and Aaron Rodgers went down so soon, Zach Wilson was supposed to sit down on the bench the entire year and not even play a single snap. But that didn't play out the way the Jets wanted to. They threw him in there, and it was just a straight-up dumpster fire. No one thought Zach Wilson was ready, and quite frankly, even the Jets fans at the end of the season wanted to get rid of him. They were calling for Mike White to come off the bench and start for them. They'd rather have Mike White than... So let's break down the goods and the bads of this trade. So, starting off, we have the Denver Broncos. They're trading for Zach Wilson. They will be acquiring Zach Wilson and a 7th-round pick from the Jets. What the Jets will be receiving is a 6th-round pick that the Denver Broncos are sending over, and they are also going to be paying a portion of Zach Wilson's salary for next year. This is a big deal because the Broncos, quite frankly, they don't have to give up much trade capital. Also, there's not much risk at all for them, honestly, because they get another quarterback to add to their room. Also, on top of that, they were already going into the season with Ben DiNucci as most likely their starting quarterback, which is not very good. But the Denver Broncos are already in tank mode for the next couple of years. So they're really just looking for a quarterback that they can just have sit there and just ride the tank out. So, with that being said, Zach Wilson is going to go in there against Ben DiNucci, and also another no-name quarterback. He should win the starting job, quite frankly. If he doesn't, that's really honestly sad if he does not win the job, because we most likely will never see Zach Wilson again. He'll be out of the league in 2-3 years. But what the Denver Broncos were thinking with trading for Zach Wilson was they'll have a starting quarterback who's not even competent. However, they're just gearing up for the next couple of drafts, so then they can rebuild their team and try to get a quarterback down the line, maybe an Arch Manning, something like that, because they will most likely be in position to get a first, second, third overall pick. So, how it affects the Jets this year that they will not have Zach Wilson? Quite frankly, nothing will change. They still have Aaron Rodgers, and if Aaron Rodgers is to go down, they are going to have Tyrod Taylor as the backup, which is a competent backup for having Aaron. So, with that being said, this Jets trade, honestly, is probably a win for the Denver Broncos because they don't have to give up much. And they also have the potential to get the once great potential of Zach Wilson when he was coming out of college. Maybe Sean Payton can fix him. Most likely not. I think that Zach Wilson will probably remain a garbage ass player. But we'll see. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. See you later.